Good evening and welcome to the debate on Evening Prime. Kidnappings and killings continue unabated in the dreaded Tirap-Changlang-Londing areas of Arunachal Pradesh. Just 5 days back, we reported that 10 coal miners were abducted by suspected 𝗓𝗏𝗽 and NSCN militants. 3 are yet to return home. In December last year, former MLA 𝗵𝗏𝗃-𝗵𝗏 was killed in cold blood in Arunachal Pradesh's Tirap district. In 2019, we cannot forget this, the deadly killing of 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, another MLA, and his 19-year-old son, along with 9 others. They were all shot dead. In November last year, a junior engineer and a supervisor were abducted from the Londing district. In December last year, a couple of villagers from Chop village under the Wakha circle of Londing were abducted. Why are these kidnappings and killings happening? Has the government failed to ensure the safety and security of its people? There are a lot of questions at this point of time because we here at Northeast Live have been reporting all of these very unfortunate incidents. People there, particularly in these 3 districts, continue to live in real fear. In fact, for me, it was a huge struggle to get people to talk about these unfortunate incidents. I was trying really hard to get people from these districts to talk about these issues, but everybody declined simply because they are extremely scared. Why are they having to live in such fear? Now, to talk about all these very important issues, I am joined this evening by Advocate Dominic Tadar from the Arunachal BJP. In fact, he's the spokesperson for Arunachal BJP. Also joining me from Arunachal Pradesh is Advocate Reckon Ingo. He's the Vice President of the Arunachal Democratic Party. And here in the studios in Guwahati, I have with me the former General Secretary of 𝗓𝗏𝗃, a young student leader, 𝗏𝗏𝗽. But before I go to my panelists this evening, I would like to go across to Dibrugarh, where my colleague Ripunjoy Das is standing by. In fact, it is Ripunjoy who has been bringing us all these reports. Ripunjoy, you are joining me this evening from Dibrugarh. You have actually traveled to these districts, the Londing, Changlang, Tirap areas. You've been there. And like I mentioned, you are the one who's been breaking most of these stories. Ripunjoy, what has your sense been? You know, you've just recently you've covered the whole coal miners issue. In fact, you reported that three people are still, we don't know where they are, presumably in captivity, or they are still there with the abductors. What sense do you get, and what is actually happening?
Good evening, Anitam, and good evening to all the panelists over here. Yes, Anitam, the main issue here is that whether the current Arunachal Pradesh government has totally forgotten TCL, that is Tirap-Changlang-Londing. Because I am bound to say this, because whenever there is a situation in Tirap-Changlang-Londing, we often try to, and even we had to run from pillar to post to get an official quote on this. So that is what the situation on the ground here is, Oinitam.
Yeah.
Because see, in the entire area, the security position is very pathetic.
Right.
Now, if I go to straightly, what do you mean by security? The TCL belt, as we all know, is in a very dicey situation if we talk about security, bandobast or arrangement. However, if we go to the ground, we find almost each and every police stations, which are the basic points of assuring public security. They are all, each and every police station, police outpost, whether it is, they are always understaffed, they do not have their enough vehicles, their weapons even do not match with what the weapons being carried by the militants.
Right.
So this is a very pathetic situation in the entire Tirap-Changlang-Londing belt, which, if we talk about legislative system, sends 12 MLAs, which is 1/5 of the 60-member Arunachal Assembly. That is a big number and, in fact, a deciding factor too. And also there is a TCL separate department for TCL region, for development of TCL region. Funds are also being allocated, but God knows where the funds goes, what kind of development takes place on ground. We never see any picture of development in real sense.
Right. Ripunjoy, thanks for that update. I would request you to stay on. Let me now bring in Advocate Ingo. Advocate Ingo, you are part of this newly launched party, but I'm sure you have a lot to deliver in the upcoming assembly elections, but we'll talk about that later. But what do you make of all these kidnappings, the abductions which go on, people living in fear? You know, there's this whole culture of demanding ransom. In fact, in this 𝗧𝗶𝗿𝗽 village case, what we reported is that demands were made up to a tune of almost rupees 2 crores. That's a lot of money. That was what the abductors demanded as ransom. There's something called a levy. They had asked for 65 lakh to be paid as a tax. So what actually is going on, and what do you make of all these developments in your state?
Good evening. In fact, this is a very contentious issue prevalent here in state of Arunachal Pradesh. And I think this evening I found this very intellectual and two gentlemen who has been working for all the very disturbed area there at TCL belt. Since my brother Mr. Dai and brother Tadar has been in the 𝗟𝗏𝗃 for long years, and they have worked hard on these issues. However, it is the state government who has to work and who has to bring concrete policies to curb all these situations and to manage the disturbed area into a peaceful zone. However, in our state, it is very unfortunate to see every now and then, every month, every year, all these unfortunate incidents are being happening. I do not make a comment. I do not condemn, and I do not make any harsh comment on the subsequent government, even in present government, to the present government. But it is the government who is responsible for the peace and tranquility, for maintaining peace and tranquility of the disturbed area. It is not the common people of that particular area. It is not the common people who are to maintain the peace. But I would say that the subsequent government, whosoever, it is the failure of our government. And we do believe that the government has to bring some solutions so that people can live peacefully at par with the rest of the other countries and other districts.
And they have to feel safe in their own homes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Before I bring in 𝗏𝗏𝗽 into the discussion, I would like to go across to Mr. Dominic Tadar. Mr. Tadar, your party in power, and all these unfortunate incidents continue. What do you have to say? Where is the, where are the missing links?
Good evening. In connection to this issue, the difference of the UPA government and the NDA government is very, very relevant and it is open for everyone to see. Now, the most important steps which has been taken by the government of Arunachal Pradesh basically to contain the life and property of the people of this TCL region. Our state government has taken a very quick action and has placed one IGP officer, especially for supervising, coordinating, and monitoring this counter-insurgency activities in TPL region. This is one of the important steps which has been taken up by our government in the present context. And there is with the cooperation and coordination of our government led by Chief Minister, and of course under the supervision of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there is improved cooperation, coordination between the security forces, the Assam Rifle, then CRPF, then interstate police, then other sister agency organizations are working together in coordination to contain these activities in the TCL region. And the government of Arunachal Pradesh has suspended the free movement of the regime, the free movement of this kind of activities, the insurgency activities which is being organized by organized groups and the unorganized group in the TCL region. And of course, the government of Arunachal Pradesh has also started working effectively to deploy additional forces to contain law and order problem in the area. And visibly, we have seen during BJP regime, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and of course in the state or Pema Khandu government, visibly the people of the state, the people of the country, and the people of the world has seen improvements in the area, especially in the developmental works, the road constructions, the schools, the hospitals, and all sorts of developments are being carried forward normally in the region right now.
Okay. Let me bring in 𝗏𝗏 into the conversation now. 𝗏𝗏, you've heard Mr. Tadar. How much do you agree? Here, of course, development, I'm sure a lot of development has taken place. We've seen a lot of infrastructure projects coming in. But the real issue, safety, security of the people, their lives.
Not denying the statement of the BJP spokesperson, elder brother Dominic Tadar, that there is a visible change. But there is not a denying fact that there's a lot of work to have to be done still regarding the law and order problem in the Tirap-Changlang-Londing region. Because as you have already briefed earlier in your question to the earlier panelist, there are so many extortion, murders, lawlessness, and a kind of peer psychosis that has been in the region for so long, almost like 25 years. And there's not much of an improvement, but yes, of course, there has been in the recent time, I'm not denying the fact that the development has come, but as I've said, lots still have to be done. Employment generation has to be done so that the people get involved. And most of all, there has to be a political will by the central government and the state government. Because you cannot drag on this law. People are living in a state of fear. They cannot speak up. As you have said that in these debates also, nobody is turning up. But because we have worked in the 𝗚PSU, in a student organization, we have been very vocal on these issues regarding the law and order problem. And at the recent time also we have seen that the ex-MLAs have been killed and nothing concrete, no justice has been done yet.
There has been just NIA investigations which are ongoing. I believe,
dragging on.
Abo case also we have still await a report from there. But what do you think? Why all these things are happening? Is it just thankfully Arunachal Pradesh does not have homegrown insurgency problems or militants there, but of course we know it's across the border people coming in. But from your point of view, what could be one of the main reasons?
As you have said, that there is luckily it's not a homegrown militancy. So it's across the border. Either they come from the Myanmar side or even from our neighboring states, and that's no denying fact. But because one reason, the main factor, what I have seen and experienced is that because of lack of employment for the youths in the region. So the government has to look into that also. And as I have said earlier about the political will, when the political will is a multi-dimension, the government has to bring in the security apparatus also. 𝗵𝗍𝗪 brother has said that, mentioned that, but it has to improve. So the peer psychologists and the people has to be taken out.
They have to feel comfortable, confident.
Yes, yes, and then there are many elected leaders from that region. They have to, they are also, because in the election time, since the election is coming now.
Yes.
And through this channel, through these debates, I'll just say because most of the players in our state, the political parties are national political parties, either it's a Indian National Congress or BJP. So the leaders, the top leaders, they have to ensure that the candidates in the ground, they do not take help from the insurgency groups.
Right, but somehow do you feel that, you know, of course you've mentioned about the political will part of it, but do you feel Chief Minister Pema Khandu or the Home Minister Mr. 𝗵𝗿𝗽-𝗏𝗍𝗪, somewhere they are still not able to deliver as far as these issues are concerned? Of course now they are travelling across the state, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm yet to see them go to these areas, particularly these 3 districts. And do you feel that somehow they are kind of, you know, letting this take a backseat?
Regarding the present, as Dominic has said, there is a visible, I'm not denying that there is a visible improvement from the earlier regime, but lots have to be done, and still, अभी जैसे जो भाषणबाजी है उससे वो नहीं होगा. आपको ग्राउंड में काम करना पड़ेगा, लोगों का विश्वास वापस लाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर आप भाषण सही चलता रहेगा तो जो अभी हाल है जो TCL में है उसका जो वो निरंतर ऐसे ही चलेगा. तो अभी जैसे ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर इज यंग, ही कैन वेरी वेल गॉज द फीलिंग्स ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ दैट एरिया, और ऐसे नहीं, ही हैज बीन इन द पॉलिटिक्स फॉर सो लॉन्ग. And then Home Minister, he's a former student activist, he knows what's going on. So there is a kind of like denying तो है उन लोगों का तरफ से भी.
मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे they are not ready to take these issues head on.
तो head on तो लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अभी डबल इंजन सरकार का जब बातें करते हैं ना, सिक्योरिटी, देखो आप हमारा भारत को, हमारा देश को, अरुणाचल हम लोग कल ही 38 स्टेटहुड बनाया है, लेकिन जो TCL रीजन का जो आगे में कहा जो एक मानसिकता है, डर का जो बैठा हुआ है, उसको तो उभर के निकालना पड़ेगा. तो उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट को प्रोएक्टिव स्टेप लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसको आगे ऐसा डिलेइंग नहीं कर सकते, इसको पर सख्त कदम उठाना ही पड़ेगा.
Right, before things get even worse.
Yes.
From what it already is. Mr. Tadar, of course I'll go back to you, Advocate Ingo, but would like to bring in Mr. Tadar here. Mr. Tadar, you know, the sense that we are getting is that somehow the BJP government in Arunachal Pradesh, headed by Chief Minister Pema Khandu, is not willing to take things head on, particularly issues like these, which are kind of now threatening to get even bigger.
Of course, what my brother 𝗍𝗪 has said, he is my colleague in the 𝗖𝗵𝗵, and during my days we worked together in 𝗖𝗵𝗵. Now I am in BJP, that is a different issue. But unwilling to take head on with the issue which 𝗏𝗏𝗽 has raised, I think we need to get into the deeper side of the issue. How would the state government, and in fact, further information I would like to share, that the UPA government for the last, this Congress-led government for the last 75 years, no union minister had visited the TCL region. It is for the first time Narendra Modi government has sent 𝗧𝗶𝗿𝗽-𝗏𝗍𝗪, the Minister of Education of State, Government of India, who visited these 3 districts, not only the district headquarters, but he has visited along with me. I was part of his campaign.
But Mr. Tadar,
practically under the supervision of our Prime Minister, Mr. 𝗧𝗏𝗪, the Union Minister has visited
that's all good, you know, of course, that's commendable. But the fact remains that on ground, we are yet to see any change. I'm not talking, of course, infrastructure development in that particular region also is very much needed. That's there, and your government, the BJP government, definitely is doing a lot as far as infrastructure development is concerned. But what about the safety and security? Because there, I think, still we are expecting a lot more.
No, madam, this is what I'm trying to speak to you. This is for the first time in the history of 75 years of India and of this TCL region also, the Prime Minister has pushed in his own union minister to these 3 districts. The union minister has led the campaign from front, not from backside, without much security also. He has visited all the circles of this TCL region and has given confidence to the people of TCL region, and in fact has given a message of Prime Minister and 𝗚𝗪𝗏 government also in the state that the central government and the state government is behind them and they should not be afraid of any elements over there. Whatever the elements that is going on in this TCL region, that is to be contained by the government of India, and that's why the state government, the double engine Sarkar, the Narendra Modi-led government and the 𝗚𝗪𝗏-led government, as I have said earlier, the central forces led by Narendra Modi, they are for the first time coordinating, cooperating, and they are exercising together to contain all these activities and to give confidence to the people. There is maneuver of security forces, regular maneuvering of security forces in a present context to give security, to give confidence, and to give peace to the region. Okay. And from the state government point of view, as I have said earlier, the 𝗚𝗪𝗏-led government has specifically kept one IGP, Inspector General of Police, to supervise, monitor, and to campaign, to organize campaign amongst the people to give confidence that the state government is with them, the police force is with them, so that the people, they do not get afraid of this kind of regular activities which is going on over there. Our campaign point, confidence building point of the central government and the state government is that the people of this TCL region, they also should come out openly with the central government and the state government to contain this issue, this vague issue, which has been running for the last so many years together, so that the government, the people, the central, the state government, and the people together, we go for a logical conclusion to this issue.
Right. And but let me quickly bring in Advocate Ingo here. Advocate Ingo, elections fast approaching in your state, assembly elections, Lok Sabha elections, both. So as far as the assembly elections are concerned, that of course matters to the people of the state. As a political party, as a recently launched political party, what are your plans as far as this specific issue is concerned? I would request you to be brief.
Yes, in fact, as Brother Dai and Brother Tadar has rightly pointed out that I am not denying that there has not been an infrastructural development out there in that TCL region.
Yeah.
It is quite obvious that infrastructural development has to be done. But mere development of increasing of development in infrastructure will not curb the insurgency problem at that area. Because
so what are
infrastructure development is something different, and this problem is something different. So the present government and ruling government, whosoever, need to see that these both aspects are equally parallelly goes hand in hand, infrastructure development and how to curb the insurgency problem out there at TCL region. And if I talk about the party, my party, that for that we have already planned out, we have already prepared the roadmap, and in our manifesto also it will be reflected that how to curb the insurgency problem out there at TCL region.
Well, that's really good to hear. Last word to Mr. Dai here. As a student leader, now as a social activist, what are your expectations from the coming elections?
The coming election,
keeping this particular issue in mind.
अभी देखिए, जो अभी हाल ही में हम लोग को सुनने, जो हमारे देश का प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर्स को पेंच कर देंगे, तो आई थिंक इट्स ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट, एक वो होगा, बून रहेगा जो इंसर्जेंसी, खासकर हमारा जो इस टॉपिक पे हम लोग जो बात करें, तिराप-लोंगडिंग चांगलांग जो रीजन है, बिकॉज ये बर्मा से सटा हुआ है और जो प्री मूवमेंट है उसको कंटेन करना है, और जो भी सरकार आएगा, हमारा स्टेट में तो अक्सर रूलिंग का एक फोबिया रहता है, तो जो सरकार है प्रोबेबली अगेन रिफ्लेक्टेड, तो हम लोग तो यही चाहेंगे कि जो जान माल का जो नुकसान है और जो सिक्योरिटी वहाँ का जो है उनका ऊपर उन लोग फिर ठोस कदम उठाएं। और जो अभी जो हादसा हुआ है, जैसे अभी 𝗵𝗡 फॉर्मर MLA का जो उसका जो असैसिनेशन हुआ है, ऐसा जो इंसिडेंट्स है उसके ऊपर फुल फोर्स के साथ पीछा करना चाहिए, एक टाइम बॉन्ड एक रिजल्ट लाना चाहिए, सो दैट लोगों का जो वहाँ का कॉमन पब्लिक जो कॉमन पब्लिक है उनके ऊपर एक आत्मविश्वास पैदा हो। ये
All right.
Government is caring. Government
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me this evening on this very important issue that we highlighted on this particular debate on Evening Prime. Thank you once again, and thank you, viewers, for joining me. Hope that post this election, things will really improve for the people of Arunachal Pradesh. On that note, thanks and goodbye. Good night.
Thank you.